What is up, everyone? It is Diecastbuffet here again. Kyle Larson wins at Bristol, making it back-to-back wins in absolute dominating fashion. It wasn't the tire fiasco that we had in 2024. It was a much different Bristol spring race. We'll be talking about that in today's video. But wow, what a dominating event for Kyle Larson. And almost 2 times this season, he has had the the triple sweep that Kyle Busch did back in the 2010s. Make sure to give the video a huge thumbs up. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So obviously, the race to win diecast, I'm pretty much sure it's going to get made. So if you want to go ahead and pre-order that, make sure to hop over there at Circle B Diecast, and you could use that promo code if you'd like. The 164 is most likely going to get offered. I would be shocked if it doesn't. Look for it in the Winner Circle Authentics line. But yeah, the 124 is going to be crazy on it. The burnout, the race wear markings. I think he led like 440 laps out of the 500. Just absolute domination by Kyle Larson. And a lot of people are probably going to have some spicy opinions of this event going into it. I was really thinking it was going to be a tire conservation race like we had last year, where every 40 laps people were putting new Goodyears on. And it was the best Bristol race I have ever watched, as long as, the spring race. The night races, we've seen some crazy stuff. But for the spring race, that was insane. In practice yesterday, they had a massive amount of tire issues. I was watching it, and literally there's cords just ripping off the tires. It was so exciting because it's like, oh boy, we're going to get another one of these crazy NASCAR classics type of races. Sure enough, the racetrack is nothing but sunshine, while yesterday in practice it was all, overcast and cloudy. Track temps up, rubber gets laid down on the racetrack, and sure enough, these tires last almost 200 laps, just like they did for the Bristol night race in September. So a lot of people were probably disappointed by that. I haven't seen the comments on it, but just knowing how a lot of NASCAR fans are, probably some disappointment, and a little bit for me as well, because I actually picked Byron to win this race, as I was thinking, you know what, Hamlin's probably going to be really good. Kyle Larson's going to be probably pretty good. But if we get a crazy tire strategy event, who knows? If you get the caution at the right or wrong time, it could mix up the field, and you could see a William Byron up front. He had a pretty good run, but it was a dominating performance from Hendrick Motorsports. Bowman had a great run as well till his engine let go. But yeah, Kyle Larson, he's quickly becoming the new go-to guy at Bristol. He finished second in the truck race. I absolutely obliterated the Xfinity race. It was actually fun to watch. I was sitting there watching it. I was like, how many cars is he going to put a lap down? He got up to, 13th or 14th. He's just money at Bristol. And very reminiscent of Kyle Busch back in, the early to mid-2010s. And unfortunately, he got second in that truck race, won the Xfinity race, and then wins the Cup race. Arguably the easiest one out of the 3, and inevitably he doesn't win it. So he got 2 out of the 3, right? And then you go a couple weeks ago at Homestead, he somehow won the truck race. He wasn't the best overall truck. Corey Heim probably was until he had engine problems. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm going to make sure I turn on my little light over here. We're going to do blue because HendrickCars.com cars, so we're going to do the blue in the background, so that's pretty cool. Hamlin have the back-to-back wins there, but going back to that Homestead race, you had him dominating the Xfinity race, doing great, and then the caution late, and then boom, loses it on the restart. Was it his fault, or was it the driver behind him? You could probably say it was the driver behind him. I think it was Sam Mayer, and that cost him the three-peat there, because then he wins the Cup race on Sunday. So there is a realistic scenario that Kyle Larson could have had 2 three-peats within a month. Kyle Busch did this in 2010 and 2017. I'm just saying, that's pretty crazy stuff. And then he's going to be running the Indy 500 next month. It's crazy. And speaking about the upcoming schedule, this is the best portion, I think, of the NASCAR schedule. And I said this during my Darlington post-race video. Bristol was the wild card, right? Because if we get the crazy tire chaos, it's going to be one of the best races of the year. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. Literally, we were just one giant cloud away from getting an all-time classic at Bristol, because it was clear that the tires were prepped to wear out. You just needed the colder temperatures. You needed no more sunlight. Part of me is like, let's run the race in late February. I know it's going to be really freaking cold, but it would probably put on an all-time classic at Bristol. The television ratings would probably be great. The attendance probably not so much with how cold it would be. But that's just me. Anyways, so with Bristol out of the way, you have the off weekend. Oh, by the way, Rockingham is back. I am so excited for that one. First time since, 2013, the trucks are going to be at Rockingham. First time since 2004 that the NASCAR Xfinity Series is going to be at Rockingham as well. Look, out of every racetrack on this planet, the number one track I want on this schedule is Rockingham Speedway. And the rumor mill, you know how it is in NASCAR, there's always rumors. There's a lot of talk that the Cup Series is going to be coming to Rockingham pretty soon, which it's obvious. They wouldn't have spent a fortune to repave the racetrack a couple of years ago if they weren't going to actually have NASCAR racing. It needs Cup Series events to survive, right? So that's almost guaranteed at this point. The problem is where is it going to go on the schedule? I've heard so many rumors that Darlington might lose a race date, which I think would be really stupid. They did this back in the 2000s, and it didn't work out, and eventually they came back and gave it 2 race dates. So I hope that doesn't happen. There's talk about getting rid of the throwback race, or maybe moving the throwback race. I don't know. There's probably a mixed bag of opinions on that one. I don't know where it falls on the schedule. The easiest one for me is just get rid of the spring Phoenix date. Simple. Just get rid of one of the Phoenix dates. You could just run it there, right? Or you technically have the off weekend for Easter. Some fans like that, some fans don't. I don't know, but I just really hope it don't lead to one of the Kansas races going or one of the Darlington races going, because that's the best product in NASCAR right now is high-speed oval racing, the 1.5 miles. You just look at a comment section for any Kansas race in the next-gen era. You'll see pretty quickly fans love it. Fans love the racing. It needs to be on the schedule. And speaking of Kansas, I don't know how true this rumor is, but you know how it goes in NASCAR. There's always a bunch of crazy rumors. They're starting to heat up talks about possibly another 1.5 mile possibly getting the Atlanta treatment, meaning it's going to be turned to a super speedway. I don't know what track particular this rumor is kind of thinking of. Is it Kansas? Is it Charlotte? Is it Texas? Is it Las Vegas? It could be a bunch of manure, but they have been talking for years to have another super speedway converted 1.5 mile. A lot of people, myself included, thought it was going to be Texas around 2023 or 2024 because IndyCar was pulling out. They wouldn't be able to run a much narrow, high-banked racetrack most likely because they'd be too close. It'd be too dangerous. What track are they thinking of? Who knows? Hopefully it's not Kansas. I hope it's Texas. I feel like most fans agree that racetrack needs to be reconfigured because the 2017 configuration ruined a lot of fans' opinions on that speedway, which was one of the best ones in my opinion out of the 1.5 mile group. So that's kind of interesting. So where does Rockingham go? What's happening with Darlington? Is there something to be concerned with Kansas? I don't know. But the upcoming weeks, you have Kansas, you have Texas, so both of those tracks are coming up. Oh, Talladega after Rockingham. And then you have the All-Star race. Temper your expectations for that one. All-Star events nowadays are just not what they used to be. But guess what? The Coke 600, Indy 500 doubleheader, that's going to be fantastic. Michigan and Nashville. To me, this is the best stretch of the entire schedule. High-speed oval racing. That is what the next-gen car excels at. So this is the best portion of the schedule, in my opinion. Once Bristol is out of the way, I wish it was better, but a lot of great 1.5 miles coming up. Thank you all for watching the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Again, make sure to pre-order that Kyle Larson Race to Win diecast. Pretty sure it's going to get made. It's got a lot of damage on it. I think the right side tires were actually worn off of it. So if you're a fan of a lot of damage on your Race to Win diecast, check that out. I don't know if there's going to be confetti on there. That's yet to be determined. But that's all for now. Have a blessed one. Like, comment, and subscribe. Diecastbuffet. Sign it off.